never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer, fine.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Before I get into what we're going to talk about today, let me first remind you about prizepicks.com and the keyword Ref Brandon. You can double your deposit today up to $100 just by going to prizepicks.com and entering the keyword Ref Brandon. And then let me say that if you follow the comment section, you'll see that yesterday afternoon I had a request for a top 10 countdown next Wednesday, and the request came in from the Winning Edge Sports Network. And if I remember, I'm going to do that top 10 countdown next Wednesday, and that might be the last top 10 that I do for a while. I have not quite yet decided because honestly, really, truly, I enjoy doing them. But it's gotten to where the last 4 or 5 months, it just seems like for some reason, for whatever reason, nobody is watching the top 10 countdowns. I used to always put in the title of the video what that week's top 10 was going to be about. And I watched and I noticed that the viewership of the countdowns was slowly going down. So I figured maybe it's because I'm putting in the description what it's going to be about, and if people don't like that particular topic, they're not going to watch it. So I quit doing that and just started putting in the title the top 10 countdown for whatever that week was. But it hasn't helped. People still aren't watching the top 10 countdowns, and even though I enjoy doing them, I'm not going to continue researching and doing top 10 countdowns for nobody to watch them. So next Wednesday, if I remember, I'm going to do the top 10 countdown that I was asked to do yesterday afternoon in the comments section. And that might be the last one that I do for the foreseeable future. But even if it is, it's not a big deal. There will still be a video on Wednesdays. I'm not going to take Wednesday off. It just won't be a top 10 countdown, but I don't see no point in doing the top 10 countdowns if nobody is going to watch them. It seems like if they're sports, nobody watches. If they're wrestling, nobody watches. If it's about vacation, nobody watches. No matter what topic I pick, nobody's watching. And I'm not going to keep doing top 10 countdowns for nobody to watch. I want to put out videos that people want to watch, not videos that people don't want to watch. And it hurts you viewership-wise on YouTube when you have 4 or 5 videos that do fairly well, and then all of a sudden you do one that does terrible. It hurts your algorithms big time when you post videos that do not get viewed. But on to today's video, we're going to talk about the new college basketball AP poll. Of course, we know it comes out every single Monday, but I don't talk about it on Tuesday in Tuesday's video because I want to give everybody time to actually look at the new poll and ponder it and think about it, so that if you have any comments about it, you can always tell me ahead of time as far as who do you think the best team is, who do you think is overrated, who do you think is underrated, because next week we enter February. So it's not much longer until we hit conference tournament time and hit NCAA tournament time. Right now, the number one team in America is Purdue at 19-1, and then we have 17-2 Alabama, 18-2 Houston, 16-3 Tennessee, and 17-2 Kansas State. Speaking of Tennessee, in the college football world, on Tuesday, I believe it was, word came down that Tennessee gave head coach Josh Heupel a contract extension that I believe goes through 2028. He's now making $9 million a year, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's coached there 2 years and already makes $9 million a year. And I know this day and time, teams feel like they have to do that because for whatever reason, they feel like if they don't give their coach a humongous raise every single time he has a good season, he's going to leave or threaten to leave. But then you put yourself in a pickle, because then all of a sudden, if this past year was an anomaly and next year they go back to being a 7-5, 8-4 football team, you've got a coach making $9 million to produce mediocrity. So I feel like they jumped the gun a little bit too soon, but we'll have to wait and see. Number 6, sitting at 17-3, is Arizona. Then we have 15-3 Virginia, 17-3 UCLA, 16-3 Kansas, and 16-3 Texas rounds out the top 10. Of course, this was on Monday when the poll came out. We've already had some upsets this week in the world of college basketball. TCU, number 11, at 15-4. And then we have Iowa State at 14-4. Xavier, 16-4. Gonzaga, 17-4. And then Auburn rounds out the top 15 with a record of 16-3. Then we have Marquette, Baylor, Charleston, UConn, and Miami of Florida rounding out the top 20. Florida Atlantic, St. Mary's, Providence, Clemson, and the Lobos of New Mexico round out the top 25. So we only have about a month left to go in the regular season. The season is just absolutely flying by, which is good for me because, for one, Clemson's been really good so far. It's almost February, and they're still leading the ACC, which is something nobody saw coming. But also, me being a NASCAR fan, I know that the faster the college basketball season goes, the quicker we are to NASCAR starting, and then, of course, Major League Baseball starting. So, for me, the college basketball season flying by is a good thing. Any thoughts on the AP poll in college basketball? Please feel free to let me know. Or do you think Josh Heupel got a raise a little bit too soon, just like I do? I would have been okay with it if they would have gave him a raise for $1 million or $2 million. But I think his raise was about $4 million, which is too much, because what if by some chance they come out next year and they go 10-2 or 11-1? I don't think they will, but let's say they do. You're going to give the guy another $4 million raise? You can't give the guy a raise of $4 million just because he gave you your first 10-win season in what seems like 100 years. I know the Vols have been mediocre for the better part of 20 years, but you can't jump the gun like that, because then you're going to have Josh Heupel thinking every time he has a good season, he's going to get another raise of $3 or $4 million, and that's just not humanly possible. So now, if he doesn't produce, they've got themselves in a pickle. I do think they'll be good next year, but I don't think they'll be 10-win season good next year. Don't forget about Homes for Our Troops. It's a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. And since its inception in 2004, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. People are usually shocked that I have a police record, but I love their greatest hits. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.